Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. In this video, we are going to have our discussion on what kind of results you can expect if you're gonna find more than 3 or 4 planets in one house of your astrological chart. So friends, the idea to make this video came to me just because I recently wrapped up my playlist where I talked about the planetary presence in different houses. So I was just seeing this pattern that people are commenting that, hey, I have 6 planets in the 5th house, I have 4 planets in the 2nd house or 12th house. So I thought, why should not we have a separate independent discussion on this concept as well? Again, it's not only on the basis of which I have studied, which I have seen in the professional consultation, but also in my own natal chart as well. I have 4 planets in one house, and if I will include the Chalit chart as well, so I have 5 planets. So what kind of difference does it create? That is something which we will try to understand in this video. So friends, to begin with, now for this discussion, I would say you have to give more emphasis to the at least 3 or 4 planets minimum, because the thing is friends, like all the time Mercury and Venus are always close to the sun, and let's say for example if even moon is transiting from over there, so it's very apparent, it's very obvious for someone to have like 2 planets or 3 planets in one house, but the intense results is only going to come or manifest if you have at least 3 or 4 planets in one house, which is not a very rare phenomena. Trust me, in the comment section of this video, you will see many people sharing their own experiences. And friends, when we talk about from the perspective of the outer planets, that you should not include in this 3 or 4 planets configuration, because you should be putting more emphasis on the inner planets only. So I would say try not to include Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and just on the basis of the inner planets, try to assess the results which I am going to be sharing in this video. So friends, to begin with, as you know this thing, generally when we talk about the way astrology function or work in our life, so planets represents the heavenly astral bodies. Zodiac sign represents like the style or the theme via which planets are going to function, and where they are going to function, that we get to know in which house they are placed in. So friends, definitely if you're going to have like 4 planets to be placed in one house of your astrological chart, that is going to gain more emphasis if the first condition is if that in that configuration of the planets your ascendant lord is also included. So you can assess that placement in this way, that whatsoever you want to do or meant to do in this lifetime, because the ascendant lord's placement just tells about that in which specific area of our life we will be putting our majority of the efforts, or our running around is going to be kind of comprised in that area of the house. So if ascendant lord is going to be a part of this configuration of the planets, that can be seen as a very good sign, because it is definitely going to give you added edge for the purpose which you meant to fulfill. The second criteria is, for example, if you're going to have moon as a part of this concentration of the planets, so then friends, this can be seen as an advantage, or this can be seen as a vulnerability as well, because as you know the nature of the moon, whether you talk about from Mercury's perspective, which is a very impressionable planet, somehow same thing is applicable in the case of moon as well, that moon also kind of is a impressionable energy which absorbs the energy to its surrounding environment or the influence. So it all comes down to in which zodiac sign that concentration is taking place, in which like house, zodiac sign, and what is the affinity of the planets. As you know this thing, that planets can be divided in 2 categories. In one category comes the sun, moon, Jupiter, Mars or Ketu, and in second category comes Saturn, Mercury, Venus, Rahu. So it all comes down to in which concentration, in which configuration planets are placed over there, where moon is a part of it. Is it going to create turmoils in your daily life, in your daily thought process, or is it going to support you? The third configuration could be, friends, if you are going to have Saturn to be a part of this concentration of 3 or 4 planets. So trust me friends, definitely Saturn in itself tells about the trials and the responsibilities and the test and trials which comes in that specific area of the life. So definitely if planets are going to be a part of a group of 3 or 4 and Saturn is going to be a part of it, and let's say for example even on the basis of the degrees, if planets are closely tied conjunct with each other, so somehow some sort of additional responsibilities, karma will definitely be emphasized or is going to get emphasized in that house. So added responsibility or additional burden of responsibilities can be experienced over there. Another criteria could be, friends, if in your this configuration of 3 or 4 planets, if Rahu is gonna be a part of it, so definitely friends, some sort of obsession will definitely be over there. Now whether moon is a part of it or not, but if your 4 planets are being present over there, because whenever we talk about the way planetary energy function, like the way I have mentioned that moon and Mercury could be very impressionable, same is the way, friends, Rahu is like a chameleon. In whichever influence it is gonna placed in, it tries to influence the behavior of those planets with its innate qualities of illusion, of deception, of obsession. So that is how the energies of Rahu is going to be working over there. But the beauty is that when we talk about ambition, when we talk about progress, when we talk about growth, innovation, foreign influence, Rahu can also help you over there as well. And lastly, friends, if you're gonna find Ketu to be conjunct in that 3 or 4 concentration of the planets in your chart, that can be seen as a good sign. In this way, some sort of past life connection can be foreseen regarding the added or additional responsibilities in that group of the planets. The second thing is that Ketu has got a very kind of a perfectionist streak, and Ketu has got a very like when we say that going deep within, becoming very critical. So Ketu can actually take your pinpointed focus regarding the matters of the house where this concentration of the planets are going to be taking place. Like the way, friends, we say this thing that, okay, this discussion is complete. So we have discussed if in the configuration of the planets, your ascendant lord is gonna be part of it, your moon is going to be part of it, Saturn is going to be part of it, Rahu and Ketu is going to be part of it. The second section is, friends, which I want to say over here is that, like the way we say that whenever you have to make any important predictions, one way of doing assessment is that you have to see from your ascendant. Second thing is that you have to see from your moon sign by making your moon sign as the ascendant. The third criteria could be that whatsoever dasha you are running, the Mahadasha you are running, if you actually want to assess that what kind of results this Mahadasha is going to be bringing in your life. So all what you have to do is that in whichever house your Mahadasha Lord planet is sitting in, just make that house or that sign as the ascendant. All the planets are going to be in the same signs only. You just made that planet, Mahadasha Lord planet, as the ascendant, and you have to observe. Same way, friends, like the way in whichever house your this major concentration of the planets is taking place, all what you have to do is that you have to make that and assume that to be as the ascendant, and then you have to see and assess the important houses, specifically the trine houses, which are always the houses of grace, divine support, and the 11th house. From there, that regarding the support you are going to get from that concentration of the planets which has taken place in one house of your astrological chart. So that is something, friends, which I just wanted to tell you about a little bit about the group of the planets. Now we are going to take our discussion to the next section, and now we will try to understand that if in your chart the concentration of planets has taken place in different houses, like if you have 4 or more than 4 planets to be placed in different houses of your astrological chart, what could it indicate? And friends, obviously the planetary strength, the strength of the house, and the natural enmity or friendliness of the planet is something which you have to give attention towards. But one thing is for sure, if in your chart you have at least 4 planets to be present in one house, so there is some additional spotlight which is or which needs to be given in the matters of that house. Whether this could be regarding your success, this could be regarding maximum growth, this could be some sort of opportunity, some big titles, or some, paying back the karma is definitely going to be attached to that house. That is the only reason you're born with an additional planetary vibration indicating in that specific area of your life. So moving ahead, friends, now let's say for example, if in your chart you will find more than 3 or 4 planets to be present in the first house. Now friends, this can be seen as a very good sign, because first house tells about the kind of caliber, the kind of potential which we possess. Also, when we talk about the physical traits, we talk about the concerns of health, and most importantly, when people look at you, what kind of impression they get. So if you're going to have like 3 or 4 planets to be present in over here, definitely it's going to enhance your potential, your capabilities to do something good, something like very substantial in this lifetime. The good part is that all those people who become self-made, who get into or get driven towards doing their business, or who reaches the top leadership position. And the friends, the beauty of the first house is that it's like first house charm and strength is something where you do not have to prove it to someone. The moment whenever a first house empowered person is going to enter the room, you can fairly see the energy, or you can experience and feel that energy coming out of the aura of that person. The only vulnerability which can take place with this planetary placement, like more than 3 or 4 planets to be placed in the first house, is that you have to just work regarding not becoming little bit narcissistic or giving too much value towards you. I still remember there was one Japanese saying which is like very inspirational, that a man should think light of himself and heavily of the world. So that is the kind of wisdom which gets applied to all those people who are going to have too much planetary presence in their first house. This can be used as a blessing. Whatsoever you want to do, you want to accomplish with this kind of planetary presence, you hold this capacity. And the beauty over here is that you do not have to resort to other people. Whatsoever you are eyeing to accomplish and achieve in this lifetime, you have that within you. So all what you have to do is that you have to just go within and find that inner strength to accomplish things in the outside world. That is the only one thing, friends, which I want to say with this planetary presence being there in your first house. The second house. So let's say for example, if you have more than 3 or 4 planets to be present in the second house. First of all, friends, to begin with, it is a very good sign, because whenever we talk about the second house or the 11th house, these are the 2 houses which tells about your financial incomes, gain and opportunities. So basis the innate nature of the planet, we can also say a dignified Saturn in the second house, your income could be connected with the Saturnian fields. A good Mercury in the second house, your income, your financial gain could be connected with the Mercurian fields. So same way, if you're going to have 3 or 4 planets being present in the second house, you could have multiple channel or source of income. Now the second thing is that, friends, definitely if 4 planets are present over here, they are giving very force and strong energy to the matters of the second house. So when we talk about all those things which we value, we always see that or get that information from the second house. Now this could be your wealth, this could be any royalty, this could be your family name, this could be the kind of knowledge you have, this could be the titles you are possessing. So with this kind of planetary presence over here, definitely you are going to have strong association or attachment with the kind of possessions you have. And friends, when we say regarding the family front, so definitely with 4 or 5 planetary presence over here, this is definitely going to give added weight towards the family ties, family values, family traditions, your early childhood environment. So it all comes down to the nature of the planets, like the way a lot many times I have shown my own chart as well. So I have 4 planets in the 11th house, but they all are benefic planets. So my moon is surrounded by the benefic influence only, like Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, moon. So these are the 4 planets I have in the 11th house. So the point which I'm trying to say over here is that with this kind of planetary presence in the second house, that means you are a very grounded, very realistic, very practical person with strong foundation, values and family influence. Now, is this influence is good or bad? That will depend on the dignity and nature of the planets, but definitely it's going to be extreme, either extremely good or extremely malefic. Moving ahead, friends. Now let's say, for example, if you're going to find this planetary presence in your third house. So friends, as you know, this thing, that third house tells about your courage, your valor, your capacity to exert an influence in the society due to your own self-initiated efforts, how resourceful you are, how many people you know, and how you relate with people in your neighborhood. Whether this could be your relationship with your friends, with your neighbors, with your siblings. Also, third house is the prime house of your self-expression. It is the house of communication as well. So definitely, friends, with this kind of planetary presence over here, this will make a leader out of you. You have this innate capacity to lead. The second thing is that, friends, definitely the prospects of your communication is going to be very empowered. When you speak, the way you present yourself, you project yourself, you have this capacity to make other people notice you. Like, your self-expression and communication is definitely going to be perceived as very empowered. The only concern with this placement over here is that, friends, definitely basis the dignity of the planets over here, we will get to know that what kind of relationship you're going to have with people around you, because with so much planetary presence and concentration going over here, this could give you a kind of a mindset where you are responsible for the upbringing, success, and supporting all of your younger siblings or friends. You are being seen as a pillar or source of strength within your family amongst your siblings. And let's say, for example, if you're going to find a proper planetary war taking place over here in the third house, planets are not dignified, then it could also give all sort of very tumultuous, a very troubled relationship with your siblings as well. So it all comes down to, friends, with the dignity of the planets. But when we talk about being very empowered, being very driven, and capacity to accomplish and achieve a lot, completely relying on your own efforts, the planetary concentration taking place in the third house can be seen as a very good sign. Moving ahead, friends. Now let's say, for example, if you're going to find the planetary concentration in your fourth house. So definitely, friends, when we talk about fourth house, this is the house of our mother, our inner emotional state. This is the house of our domestic life. So friends, when we talk about planetary concentration taking place in the fourth house, this can be seen as a very good sign that this is kind of a person who is definitely going to be looking forward to security and stability in the life. And let's say, for example, if you're going to find planets to be dignified over here, now this could be the malefic planets as well. So this is definitely going to act in the favor of native to give him strong foundation, like in the form of support from the family and supporting parents. So that is how things can materialize. But also, friends, when we talk about the fourth house, so I would say that if planets are going to be dignified over here, native is definitely going to be demonstrating strong resilience as well. His capacity to fight back or come out of any misery, any sort of misfortune is going to be very strong. So strong fortitude, resilience, fighting spirit can be foreseen if planets are going to be well placed and dignified over here. But let's say, for example, friends, if you will find planets to be not harmonious to each other, planets to be placed in a very afflicted state, then this could create a turmoil or a chaos in the emotional health of the person, or even in the domestic life as well, because whatsoever is going to be happening in the domestic life of the native, that is going to have a strong influence in overall well-being of the native. So many times what happen is that someone was going very good in his professional life, but because of the personal domestic abuse or any sort of crisis going on in the personal life, that took a toll in some person's professional life or his public image as well. So that is how your success, your overall well-being is definitely going to be intricately connected with what is happening in your domestic life. So the kind of nourishment you're going to receive from your mother, the kind of partner or spouse you're going to find is going to become very important with this kind of placement. And also, friends, when we talk about the non-living signification connected with the fourth house, like having all the conveniences, all, like when we talk about having a good house, good happiness on the account of luxurious vehicles, gaining from real estate, construction, even all those prospects are definitely going to support a native if he's going to have empowered and dignified fourth house. Moving ahead, friends, now let's say for example if you're going to find the planetary presence in the fifth house. So here we are talking about if you have like more than 3 or 4 planets to be present over here in the fifth house. Now friends, this can be seen as a good sign in this regard, because fifth house has got a very diversified significations. So when we talk about first of all, if planets are going to be well placed and dignified over here, that in itself tells about that you have done some good deeds in the past life, because fifth house, 11th house are intricately connected with the merits from the past life as well. We call it in Hindi as Purva Punya. So good deeds done in the past life. The second thing is that on mental plane, friends, this is a kind of combination which can make a genius or proper mentalist, or this can make or give someone psychologically unrest or psychologically volatile nature as well, because fifth house tells about the way our mind function. So if you're going to put like 4 or 5 planets over here and the planetary vibrations are not working harmoniously with each other, then it can create a kind of a psychological turmoil as well. But let's say for example if planets are going to be well placed, dignified over here, when we talk about very logical mind, your capacity to withstand any difficulties, being very creative, being very innovative, out of the box thinking, and not only that, if planets are going to be well placed over here, native is not only going to be benefiting from the divine omens, from the prospects of luck, spirituality, spiritual refuge helping the native, but also native might also remain lucky in finding a very promising, a very obedient progeny or children as well. So natives' children might also become a source of a happiness or make the family name grow and shine because of this planetary placement which native is going to have in his chart. So for gaining in life or gaining out of taking risk or from speculation, like friends, when we say speculation, it's not only about the stock market, it's about the daily risk which we take in our life, like in the form of you have to change a job and you are just not sure whether this step which you're going to take at this stage of your life is going to be supporting you or it's going to pull you down. So all those small risks which we take in overall running around of our life is somehow connected with the fifth house only. So I would say for spiritual merits and also having a very bright, intelligent mind and all the planetary forces, vibrations helping native to make rational decision and success in life, this placement of the planetary presence in the fifth house can be seen as a good sign. Moving ahead, friends. Now let's say for example if in your chart you have planetary concentration in your 6th house. So friends, as you know this thing that 6th house in our this discussion is the first Dushtana Bhav where we have reached. But like the way I always say this thing, 6th house is a Dushtana house, same like 8th house, 12th house, which represents the houses of difficulties. But the upper edge which 6th house has, that all the prospects of this house is visible. They are not invisible or karmic as compared to the 8th house or the 12th house. And friends, it also comes down to the dignity of the planets over here. For example, I've seen the charts of so many successful politicians and crusaders or people who have founded and ran successful businesses in the past as well. Like if you will find this combination in the chart of a Leo ascendant and in the 6th house, whether you will find Mars or like Saturn or Rahu or Mercury or Venus, native can be a leader, native can attain a big success in the life. So it all comes down to in which dignity you are going to find the planets over here. But definitely friends, if ascendant lord is going to be present over here, so that means your life will be the epicenter of struggle and fighting hard. If moon is going to be present over here, so you have to be competitive, and that is how your mind should be functioning. So it all comes down to friends in which dignity you are going to find the planets over here. But the heavy concentration of the planets in the 6th house is a fair indication that whatsoever you want to accomplish, you have to fight for it, you have to arbitrate for it, and you have to be disciplined for it, because the chief trait or principle which comes out of this 6th house is the prospects of discipline and how meticulous you are in all spheres of the life. And like the way friends I say this thing that no matter in which dignity planets are there in your sixth house, the capacity and the intentions of being of service to other is something which you have to learn right from a very young age. So again friends, I would say this thing that definitely all the problems and the struggles of the sixth house is not something which is going to creep out on you once in a blue moon. Like sixth house tells about our daily life, so there could be chaos, there could be struggle in the daily life, and definitely if you have the planetary concentration over here, so I am very much sure that you must have already made yourself accustomed or familiar enough to how to deal with these kind of situation. So the only mool mantra which comes for people with this kind of concentration of the planets in their sixth house is that never look out for the easy way out. Discipline becomes very important for you. How perfectionist, how organized you are becomes very important for you. And let's say for example, if you're also devoted to the gods as well, and you have this innate capacity to help others, to be of service in the community, in the society, so trust me, all those people who become successful politician, all those people who attain greatness, because guys, it's very obvious whenever we talk about the all those people who have attained greatness, even when we talk about the mythology or even from the all the theology, all the gods, all the incarnations, they are seen as great only because they withstand and they fight the adversity and they rise above it. We do not call anyone as great because he was born with a silver spoon. So that is the kind of prospects which we see from the sixth house. Struggle, obstacles, competition is something which is going to be a part of your life, and the success will also be hidden over there only. Moving ahead friends, now let's say for example, if you're going to find the planetary concentration like 3 or 4 planets are being placed in your 7th house. So definitely friends, 7th house becomes a very important house. With this kind of planetary concentration, when we talk about the way you relate with the society, with the world, what you import from others, that is something which is we see from the 7th house. This is also the house of the partnership, and this is also tells about our dealings within the world. So with this kind of empowered energy getting formed over here in the 7th house, that in itself is a first sign that you will run into very powerful or empowered partners. This could be your life partner as well. If you are in any business partnership, even for that, this can be seen as a very good sign. Even if you want to become a successful politician, or if you want to have a successful mass media global career, so this placement of planetary concentration taking place in your 7th house can be seen as a very good sign. The only vulnerability friends with this placement is that many times what happen is that you have to learn to not completely dissolute yourself in order to find the direction in the life. Because many times what happen is that if planets are going to gain more strength in the 7th house, native tend to kind of ignore himself more, or get dependent more on the public acknowledgement and approval, like approval from the outside world. So how do I look as being perceived by the other people, like how much I have achieved in the life, as much as the accomplishments or approvals which I have received from the society. So you should kind of protect yourself from that sort of mindset, that you should not completely give away your identity, your sense of self, in order to please others. So that is the one thing which native has to learn. But when we talk about thriving or gaining success out of partnership, running into very supporting, very empowered partners or people in the community, in the society, that kind of association, this placement can be seen as a very good sign. Whether you talk about foreign travels, whether you talk about foreign influence, relating well with the mass media, gaining and deriving success because of the support of other people, this placement can be seen as a very good sign. Moving ahead friends, now let's say for example, if you're going to find 3 or more than 3, like 4 planetary concentration taking place in your 8th house. So definitely friends, 8th house is a kind of a mysterious house, but 8th house also tells about the kind of cleansing, the kind of renewal we gonna have in the life, the way you destroy your old ego boundaries and you create a new chapters in the life. So a lot of transformation is always connected with the 8th house. And as you know this thing, that whenever we talk about anything to do with the occult fields, with the mystic fields, you're a very researchful mind and gaining out of something which is completely, esoteric or unpredictable in nature. So all the lottery gains, all the gains out of wealth, legacies are somehow is seen from the 8th house only. So now friends, with this kind of planetary concentration taking place over here, like even if you will look at the chart of like Osho has this planetary concentration in the 8th house, and we all know the kind of upper edge he had in these spiritual fields. Or even if you will take up the case of Indian superstar Amitabh Bachchan, there are like lot many people who have gained success because of the support which they get from the 8th house, because 8th house also tells about your sensitivity towards the psychology or the mass trends as well. So friends, with this kind of placement, one thing which I always want to say to all the 8th house concentrated or influenced people is that nothing is impossible in this life for you. When we talk about all those people who have done miracles in the past, ever since the civilization has been there, they all were from the 8th house, because every house in our chart has got a limit attached to it, but 8th house is something which has no limit attached to it. And the way this house is going to function always remains a mystery for everyone. So you will put your hand into it, there could be a reptile or snake which will come out and bite you, and there could be a treasure which you will find. So anything can come out of the 8th house. So it becomes very important in your chart that what is the dignity of the planets over here. Definitely this kind of placement is going to make your personality very deep, very intense when we talk about being empathetic towards others, and your capacity to absorb all sort of the mass influence or mass trends, or gain out of the upper edge over the psychology of the others. This placement can be seen as a very good sign. I've seen lot many people who work in the fields of revenue, of taxing, of insurance, or occult and the spiritual field with this kind of placement. So definitely friends, this placement can be seen as a blessing in disguise. If you have all the planetary concentration over here, it all becomes very important how much devoted you are and how much you are working hard towards the signification of the 8th house, which is all about surrender and how much faith you have. Moving ahead friends, now let's say for example if you are going to find the planetary concentration in the 9th house. So definitely friends, this is the house of your faith, this is the house of the wisdom, this is the house of the luck as well. So for example, if in your chart your ascendant lord is placed over here, your moon is placed over here, that in itself is going to make you very fortunate in the life. Now when I say fortunate, so that means that definitely divine grace and the luck will always support you, protect you in overall well-being of your life. Because many times what happens is that a lot of our actions are done very unconsciously as well. So somehow some divine energy, astral entity guiding you, protecting you, helping you, so all that can happen. Now friends, with all of this planetary concentration taking place over here, that in itself is going to make you kind of little bit optimistic as well. Like the way we say this thing, all the planets function on the ground of the kind of vibration which gets provided to them in the house where they are placed in. The energy of the 9th house in itself is the energy of hope, of faith, and little bit of the progress as well. Ultimate progress is the 11th house, but 9th house also tells about pushing us, leaping us forward. So when we talk about gaining out of the right set of mentors, right set of advisors coming your way, like when we talk about whether the positive influence of your father or the blessings of your ancestors guiding you, keeping you firm on the right path. So from all of those perspectives, strong planetary concentration taking place in the 9th house is definitely going to be creating positive energy. You can use that for some true wisdom as well, for imparting, sharing that knowledge with the world as well, or for any sort of religious pursuit. This placement can be seen as a very good sign. Friends, try to understand this thing. We have heard lot many those extreme metamorphosis or transformation in the life of the people. Like for example, someone who was passed out from a very prestigious business school and he was even on the top of the corporate job. Suddenly he abandoned everything and he got into the fields of spirituality. So that kind of extreme transformation can only happen, and that can prove to be successful and supporting for you as well if you have this kind of one track indication coming out in your chart. So for example, if you have 5 planets to be placed in the 9th house and you are at 36 years of age, for example you are a Aquarius ascendant person and your Saturn is exalted in the 9th house, and not only that, it is conjunct and concentrated with other supporting planets as well. You come to me at 36 years of age that okay, I have done and accomplished a lot in the corporate field, in the academic field. Now I want to completely devote myself to the name of the God. So with this kind of placement, definitely you will progress in that as well. A mediocre person is mediocre everywhere, and someone who is best or brilliant is going to be brilliant in all the fields. So it all comes down to, if you're going to have this kind of planetary concentration in your chart indicating in one direction, so you can blindly follow that path. You will definitely progress in that path. And with this kind of placement in the most auspicious house, so you become a conduit or a medium who has the capacity to absorb that true nectar of wisdom, and also in future to share with the world as well and benefit the humankind as well. So that is the kind of alignment and probable result which we can see. Someone who is going to be very learned, someone who is going to be very wise, and his majority of his decision making in the life, the divine grace will always help him, guide him or protect him. Moving ahead friends, now let's say for example, if you're going to find the majority of the concentration of the planets in your 10th house, like more than 3 planets, like 4 planets, 5 planets to be placed over here. So friends, that can be seen as a very good sign. As you know that 10th house tells about our professional endeavors. This is the house of our ambition, our growth, prospects of recognition, fame, how we relate with the authority figure. So concentration of the planets over here is going to tell about that. Definitely is going to make your personality very workaholic, someone who's going to be very duty driven, someone who's going to be very responsible, someone who's going to manifest strong leadership qualities. That is the only reason friends, like this is the house where majority of the planets are, and the maximum number of planets are connected as the natural karaka or the significator. Like you talk about Sun, you talk about Rahu, Saturn, Mercury, Jupiter, they all are considered as the natural karaka of this house. So because of which friends, your capacity to accomplish a lot in the life. And the thing over here is that all the planets are infusing their energy and their results in the 10th house. So obviously if you have 4 planets being placed over here, so they must be ruling some house as well. So all the prospects of your house, like 3rd house is contributing towards your goal, 4th house is also pushing you towards your goal, 5th house is also pushing you towards your goal, like if those houses are being ruled by the planet which is there in the 10th house. So that is a very good sign. It is definitely going to make you very driven, very workaholic, and lot can be accomplished or achieved in the life. Now friends, try to understand this thing, that whenever we talk about the 10th house, whatsoever happen over here, it is always in the public's eye. So if you have a kind of a chaos being formed over here where planets are getting into fight with each other, and even the zodiac sign, the ultimate house owner and the zodiac sign, the way planets function, that is also not very benefic in nature. So then in those kind of scenarios, even the wrong unethical deeds done by you will also be seen in the world. Like the way friends, we always say this thing, the true wisdom of the world of the life is not what you get, what you ultimately become. So with this 10th house empowered energy, you have strong potential to become something. Now what your goals are, the nature of your actions are, you will become that only. Now whether you become a very despicable person, you will become like a criminal, or you will become like a very idealistic, successful role model, it will all come down to the way energies are functioning over here. But empowered 10th house can be seen as a very good sign for accomplishing a lot in the life. Moving ahead friends, now let's say for example, if you're going to find the concentration of the planets in your 11th house. So friends, as you know this thing, that when we talk about the 11th house, this is the house of your wish fulfillment, your social networking, your goals. And when we talk about the progress, is something which we always see from the 11th house, because it is the highest of the Upachya Bhav. Your capacity to become something greater than of your existing self. is something which we always see from the 11th house. So let's say, for example, if you're going to have majority of the concentration of the planets over here, you have 4 planets, you have 5 planets being placed over here, so that can be seen as a very good sign that definitely you will progress in the life. Your ultimate goal in the life should be about your personality development. You should always be more inclined towards what you are becoming, because with this kind of concentration of the planets, it can actually make you someone who is more wise with the passage of time, someone who will become more wealthy, more knowledgeable, more virtuous. So all those potentials are definitely going to be there with the concentration of the planets over here. The only concern with this house is that, friends, when we talk about the 10th house is exclusively the house of actions. With 11th house, there are lot many desires over here as well, because it is the highest of the Kama Bhav as well. So there has to be proper balance between how much you are aspiring for, how much your desires are, how much realistic they are, and how much you are practically, realistically working in that direction as well. So there has to be a proper balance over there. The second thing is that in order to get support from the community, extend the help and receiving the right set of help from prominent people, from the friends, like becoming a part of organization, easily becoming and adapting yourself towards those collective goals, that collective consciousness. So all those prospects are definitely going to be there with this planetary concentration over here in your 11th house. And definitely, friends, whenever we talk about like gaining from your friends, from your elder siblings, because this house in itself has got a notion of granting and fulfilling your wish, and popularity is something which we also see from the 11th house. The only one thing which you have to or need to learn is that, first of all, being realistic and working hard regarding your goals. And the second thing is that always thinking about adding some sort of service or philanthropy or humanitarian angle towards all of your accomplishment. So whatsoever you are achieving, try to share it and remain open towards sharing it with the world as well, if you actually want to progress in life. Because with heavy planetary concentration in your 11th house, this can be seen as a very good sign of consistent progress and accomplishment in the life. And last, friends, let's say, for example, if you're going to find the planetary concentration in your 12th house. So friends, 12th house is a little bit tricky house, because as you know this thing that this is the house of expenses, of losses. Now this is also the house of escapist tendencies, addictions, your relationship, your experiences in the foreign land with the foreigners, prisons, monasteries, hospitals. So now, friends, when we talk about the planetary concentration taking place over here, definitely your definition of loss, your definition of rejuvenation and relaxation becomes very important. Because if someone is going to have a very empowered 12th house, but planets are not very dignified over here, so like, what is your definition of relaxation? For someone, when life comes hard, the circumstances of the life becomes hard, different people take different approach for relaxation. Being a human, we all need that, a pillar of hope, a source of rejuvenation and relaxation. Someone goes to drugs, someone goes to alcohol, and there are those who takes and goes to the service. There are those who goes to the religion. They embrace the religion, they embrace God for finding out a solution of the problem and elevating out of it. So because this is also the ultimate house of transcendental wisdom, knowledge, intuition, moksha, so all of that is connected over here as well. So your definition of managing expenses and losses or relaxation needs to be very dignified. How much you are devoted towards the higher entities, other planes of existence, your devotion, your interest in meditation, yoga, spirituality, and your definition of compassion, forgiving, letting go becomes very important with this placement. And also, friends, when we talk about becoming a wealthy person, so trust me, who says that you cannot become a millionaire with an empowered 12th house? Try to understand this thing. I've seen lot many cases where what happened is that someone does not have a combination of becoming a celibate, a ascetic, just because his couple of antardasha or some event happened in the transit or in the ongoing dasha of the person, he might have a moon ketu conjunction or certain alignment, but this native doesn't have a ultimate alignment in the chart which indicate towards celibacy or asceticism. So this person took that vow, and later on in this whole life this native is regretting his decision that I am not meant for that, I have so many worldly desires to fulfill. But trust me friends, when we see the charts of all those saints and the spiritually elevated beings, like on books, they have a net worth of millions because of the donations which they receive from all over the world, which people happily give just by looking at their picture or their name, because they have this unconditional trust and faith that the money which they are giving in the name of charity for this person will be used only for the good reasons. So it all comes down to how empowered the planetary vibrations are there in your chart. But trust me, if you have a empowered 12th house, so it's not only about the charity, it's the universe and the nature which will take care of you. So it all comes down to how much strong connection which you have established with the universe, with the nature. Because friends, a empowered 12th house with the planetary concentration of like 4 planets or 5 planets being placed over here, that in itself tells about that you are being born with a life being indicated in one specific direction, which is the 12th house. So that is something friends which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs for the major planetary concentrations in different houses of your astrological chart. Definitely friends, I cannot give you a exact picture because I do not know in which dignity planets are over there. Are they in a war? Are they dignified? Is your ascendant lord a part of it? Your moon a part of it? But definitely after listening to this video, you must have got a indication or idea what I wanted to say, and definitely work in the direction of that house, because your success is definitely somehow hidden over there or encrypted over here. So for further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page. Dhanyavad.